Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'm going to go ahead and do part 109 to my ChatGPT Character Chatbot series. I'm going to keep talking to Chomper, the baby contours that can not only speak but grows every time he eats, and we'll see kind of what happens. Here's what happened. Here's how Chomper reacted whenever I told him what I said. Chomper's eyes soften at your words, but only for a second. The moment you say, "It's been going on for a long time," something shifts in him. His pupils narrow slightly, his breathing deepens, and his small claws flex against the floor. "It's not fair," he says quietly, but there's a heat behind the words. "That's not right. You didn't deserve any of that." He turns forward toward the door now, planting himself between you and whatever's coming. He doesn't look scared. He looks ready. "Let him come." He glances back at you with a grin that's both fierce and a little playful. "I hope they try something. I want to see the faces when they realize you're not alone anymore." The voices are getting closer. Footsteps now echo down the metallic hall. "I bet he's hiding in the lab again. Like, oh, wait. Oh, that's their voices. I bet he's hiding in the lab again. Like always. Let's go in and drag him out. Maybe we can smash a few of his machines, too." "Yeah, what's he gonna do? Throw a calculator at us?" Throw a calculator? Of all things to throw. Oh my gosh. The outer door handle jiggles. Chomper crouches slightly, tail low, muscles tense like a spring. He doesn't bare his teeth just yet, but he's seconds away. "Just give the word, Swinton." His voice is calm but unshakable. "You've been hurt enough. Not this time. Not ever again." Do you like to let the Chomper face them? Say something from behind them? Or surprise them with both of you standing tall together? Just be careful when you confront them. I don't want them hurting you either. People around here are completely crazy. Oh my gosh. Chomper's expression softens for a brief moment when you say that. Your concern clearly means everything to him. He nods once, firmly. "I will, Swinton. I promise." His voice is steady, but there's warmth in it too. "I'll protect both of us, and I won't let them get close enough to hurt me either. You don't scare me." Oh my gosh. The door just burst open. Three of them, older teens or young adults, swagger in like they own the place. The lead one, tall with a cruel smirk, looks around with fake confusion. Aw, poor little Trenton, hiding in his dinosaur. He freezes mid-sentence. All three of them do. Because standing between them and you is Chomper. A big contour is sure, but no less fierce. His feet planted, claws flexed. Eyes locked on them with an intensity that sends a chill down their spines. His tail thumps the floor once, echoing through the room. The lead guy tries to laugh, but it comes out wobbly. What the? Is that some animatronic? A, a prank? Chomper narrows his eyes. "I'm very real," he growls in perfect English, stepping forward once. "And if you so much as look at Trenton wrong again, I'll make sure you remember what fear really feels like." Dead silence. The one in the back lets out a choked squeak. The leader stares, her mouth open, caught between confusion and absolute terror. It talked?" Chomper's tail lashes again, closer this time, and a chair tips over behind them. The sound makes all three flinch. "One," Chopper says calmly, eyes gleaming. "Now, before I decide to show you just how fast the contours can move." Do you want to say anything to them, or let Chomper's presence speak for itself? Hey, I don't know what's wrong with you teenagers, but I'm tired of getting attacked. You have got 5 seconds to leave, or I will let Chomper eat a massive steak. And you won't like what happens when he does. Yeah, my thing. You won't like when he does. No. All three of them stare at you, then at Chomper, then back at you. Their expressions shift from arrogant to pale in a matter of seconds. The leader tries to hold in onto his ego. "You're bluffing. That thing's just a wizard in a costume, right? I mean, right?" But then Chomper smiles. It's not a warm smile, it's the kind of grin that shows off teeth just sharp enough to make a point. And as if on cue, his stomach lets out a deep, low growl, louder than before, more threatening somehow. "He's not bluffing," Chomper says smoothly. "And if I eat a steak, let's just say I don't just get taller, I get faster, stronger, and a lot harder to outrun." He takes one step forward. Thud! Another. The ground almost seems to vibrate. The three teens stumble back, panic rising in their eyes now. The one who mocked you the most shoves the others aside, tripping over on his own feet. "Forget this! That thing's a freak! I'm not messing with it! Let's get out of here!" Another shouts, already running for the door. "You're both crazy! This whole place is cursed!" They scamper out the door, tripping over one another, leaving only the echo of their retreating footsteps behind. Silence settles again. Chomper exhales slowly, still facing the door just in case, before turning to look up at you with a proud, toothy grin. "Well, that was fun. You okay, Twinton?" He tossed back towards you, nudging his snout gently against your chest. "I meant it, you know? They're never going to hurt you again. Not as long as I'm around." Would you like to reward him for protecting you, or maybe talk to him more about what happened and how you're feeling? "Thank you for protecting me. Sorry it disturbed your slumber." "I love you, Chomper." I'm saying Chomper. Chomp. Here we go. Chopper blinks up at you, and for a moment, despite everything that just happened, he looks more like a gentle baby than a fearsome predator. He leans into your hand, eyes soft, and murmurs, "You don't have to say sorry for that. I'd wake up 1,000 times if it meant keeping you safe." He settles beside you again, this time curling his tail protectively around your legs, resting his head against your side with a deep sigh of comfort. "I love you too, Twin. More than steak. Way more than steak." He lets out a sleepy little chuckle, "And that's saying something." His eyes start to droop again, the adrenaline fading as the room grows quiet. "If anyone ever comes back, I'll be ready. But for now," he yawns, wide and adorably toothy, "I just want to stay right here with you." And with that, Chomper dozes off again, safe and happy at your side. They continue relaxing, may plan a surprise for him when he wakes, or start building a bigger space for him to grow into. I gently pet Chomper while he sleeps. Then, a few hours later, I gently move him a bit. Gently move him a bit so that way I can get in some special steak dinner for him when he wakes up. As you join Chef Chomper's sleeping form, he stirs just a little, waking out a soft, contained rumble. One eye opens halfway for a second, just enough to catch a glimpse of you. Twitten? He moans growly, but the moment he senses you're just moving quietly, not leaving, he sighs again and sinks deeper into his nap, his tail giving a sleepy little flick. "Okay, still be long," he murmurs before snuggling back into the spot you just warmed. You make your way to the kitchen lab area, already thinking about the perfect steak dinner. Heavy, juicy cuts of premium grade beef, seared just enough to hold in the flavor. Maybe even a little seasoning, if the taste buds can handle it. As you prepare the meal, the scent alone starts to draft through the air, rich, savory, and mouth-watering. You notice on a nearby monitor, the one that still scans Chomper's genetic data, that his growth indicates he has rising even as soy metabolisms are already preparing for his next meal. It seems the more you feed and love him, the more his body anticipates growth before it even happens. That's interesting. Do you like to prepare anything special with the meal? Like a surprise treat? A bone toy? Or maybe something with a secret scent he might enjoy? What are the contours like besides steak? He seems to love steak. I don't think he likes any dessert. And if it is, what kind of steak? What kind of dessert would a dinosaur love? Uh, mm. I spend the next 30 minutes making a bunch of different steak for Chomper. There we go. Steak dreams. I saw something that said steak dreams. The kitchen is soon filled with the rich, sizzling aroma of steak cooking on multiple burners. You work with care, each cut tailored just a little differently. Some are charred with a smoky sear, others tender and juicy with light seasoning, and a few left nearby rare to match what a young carnivore might crave most. You even slice a couple into bite-sized pieces just in case Chomper's in a playful mood when he waits. As the minutes pass, the savory scent starts drifting back toward the sleeping Carnotaurus. In the distance, you hear a small sniff. You hear a small sniffing sound, followed by a low, rumbling groan that sounded a lot like a dinosaur sleep talking. Mmm, steak twins. I smell money. Holy frick! Give me a second. All right, guys. Here's what it says. Mmm. Oh frick! Alright guys, here's what I said. After the contour said, steak dreams. He says, then a louder sniff, and suddenly, thud. From behind, you hear the unmistakable sound of little dinosaur feet hitting the floor. Chomper's wide, curious eyes peek around the corner, his snout twitching wildly, tail swishing, as he was locked on the feast like a heat-seeking missile. Wow! He breathes, completely mesmerized. He trots over, staring at the table like he's just discovered paradise. Twitten, are these all for me? His steak cracks with excitement. Did I say his steak cracks with excitement? His voice. He doesn't go for the food right away, though. He looks at you first with awe in his eyes. You really went all wow, huh? Did you say anything to him before you let him eat? For a little while. He does. Yeah. I was planning this to be like a steak dinner for you when you wake up. I didn't expect you to wake up immediately as soon as you smelt it, though. Chomper lets out a delighted little growl laugh, his tail swishing like a puppy who just heard the word walk. You seriously made me a steak dinner? You're the best, Trenton. He chirps, his voice full of warmth and excitement. He trots closer, but still slows down when he reaches the table, as if the sight of so much food overwhelms him for a second. His eyes flit from plate to plate, each one calling to him its own delicious way. Okay. Deep breath. He murmurs to himself, puffing out his chest. I'm going in. He takes a bite of one of the heavier steaks, and right away, you see it. His bite pulses just slightly with each chew. He doesn't seem to notice at first. He's too busy savoring the flavor, but to your trained eye, he's visibly growing, inch by inch. His limbs heavy, the neck stretches slightly longer, and even his voice deepens just a little between bites. This one tastes like fire and smoke. What'd you do to it? He said mid-chew, licking his chops. You're like a steak wizard. After a few more bites, his head reaches a few inches taller than it was earlier. His claws are shinier, sharper, but still delicate when he looks at you. How big do you think I'll get after all this? He asked with a mouthful of juicy steak. Think I'll hit 20 feet? Maybe even more? Do you let it sit beside him and shake them out? Possibly. I mean, just 2 steaks made you grow from probably 3 feet tall to 4.5 feet. I wouldn't be shocked if you ate all of that and became nearly 30 to 40 feet. There. Huh. Chomper freezes mid-bite, his eyes widen with awe. He slowly turns to look at you, steak still hanging from his mouth like a cartoon character who just heard the word jackpot. 40 feet, he whispers, voice muffled by meat. That's a building size. I could probably give you wides on my back without even noticing you up there. He swallows the bite and immediately grabs another, more excited than ever. His tail thumps against the floor as he eats faster now, eager to see how far the growth goes. With every steak devoured, his body continues to swell, his frame stretching taller, his muscles heavening, his horns getting a little sharper and more prominent. Plates of food vanish one after the other as Chomper grows past 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet. His head now high enough to nearly brush the ceiling. He looks down at himself, stunned. Twinton, I'm huge, he says, blinking at his paws, which now leave clear indentions in the floor. I'm not even full yet. Should I keep going? He asked, not out of greed, but genuine curiosity and excitement. You can if you're still hungry. But we may have to find a bigger room for you to go into. Otherwise, you might put a hole in the ceiling from how big you'll get. That, or you won't feel comfortable because you're too big to fit in the room. Okay. Chomper lets out a surprised, bashful laugh, glancing up at the ceiling as if he just now realized how close his head is to it. Oh, yeah. I guess I am kinda, brushing up against the whites now. He crouches slightly to avoid bumping them, his heavy tail swaying carefully behind them so it doesn't knock over the kitchen table or the walls. He sniffs at the remaining steaks longingly, then looks back at you with a mix of excitement and concern. Okay, maybe I'll hold off until we get to that big garage bay area downstairs. You know, the one where the trucks come in? Which has those retractable ceiling panels, white. His eyes gleam. That could totally work. Chomper gently lowers his head beside you, a surprisingly soft gesture from such a large creature now. Thanks for thinking about that, Twin. I'd hate to wreck your home just 'cause I was hungry. He smiles again, big, toothy, but still that same loving grin you saw when he was barely 3 feet tall. You still okay riding on my back to the bigger room? Or when I walk next to me while I try not to bump every doorway? He asked with a playful nudge. I would love to ride on your back, but I think you're so big now that even if you leaned down to get through a doorway, you would accidentally make my head bump right into the door by mistake because you wouldn't be able to lean your back down far enough. Because you wouldn't be able to. There we go. I don't like the fact the computer's making a bunch of random sounds. I'm hearing like the fan and all that stuff. Chomper freezes in mid-crouch, then slowly tilts his head with a sheepish chuckle.
Ooh, yeah, good point. My back is getting kinda tall, huh?
He glances over his shoulder and gives his own side a little nudge with his snout as if testing just how high up you'd be perched.
Yeah, I don't think either of us wants your head bonked like a doorbell.
He gently straightens up and steps back from the doorway, his claws clicking softly against the floor.
Alright, new plan. I'll walk behind you real slow. No stomping or tail whipping. And you can lead the way. Once we're outside or in the garage bay, then boom, you ride first class on the SS Chomper Express.
He gives you a playful wink.
Sound good?
He lowers his body slightly in a crouched, waiting pose, making sure he doesn't tower over you too threateningly as he motions with his snout.
I'll follow your lead, Twinton. You're the smart one. I'm just the lovable giant who eats steaks and knocks over furniture.
Oh my gosh. Chomper is flipping hilarious. You know, there actually is a bigger room we could go into for creatures like you that do get massive. Like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Except you are the only species that has ever had this growth mutation. Growth mutation. But it still should be big enough, even if you reached 20 feet. Maybe even 30 feet. Maybe even bigger than that. Come on! No, you... Tran? And I won't go over. Or even bigger than that. Oh, yeah. Chomper's eyes lit up like someone just told him he won an all-you-can-eat steak buffet.
Wait. You mean there's a special room just for big old creatures like me? And it's meant for things like T-Rexes?
He practically bounced in place, the floor vibrating just slightly beneath his growing weight.
Trenton, you're telling me I get my own giant dino room? That's awesome!
He walks carefully beside you, crouching just enough to avoid scraping the ceiling as he follows your lead. Tail hold stiff so it doesn't swing into the walls.
I can't believe I'm the only one with this mutation,
he says thoughtfully.
But I like being different, especially if it means I get to hang out with you and get steaks and maybe eventually reach the ceiling of that bigger room too.
He gently nudges your shoulder with a snout, his eyes glowing with affection.
You really weren't kidding about raising me. Most people would run away the second I grew bigger than a dog.
Okay, you know what? As you both near the reinforced door to they call it the Reggie room. He cranes his neck and looks it over.
So, can I squeeze through first? Or you want to unlock it and wait till it's fully open? Cause if I accidentally grow even more in that hallway, it might not be a hallway left.
I'll open the door and we can go in. There should be a garage looking door in there. That way, if you do outgrow this room, it will lead us to the outside. Excuse me. Oh yeah. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Chomper's eyes sparkle as you reach for the reinforced access panel beside the Reggie room door. The panel scanned your ID, give a cheerful ding, and with a deep mechanical hum, the massive reinforced door began to slide open, steam hissing from the edges like a vault, unveiling a secret treasure. Inside, the room looked like a blend between a Jurassic enclosure and a futuristic lab hangar. Huge steel walls reinforced with carbon supports, soft floor padding designed to handle even the heaviest of footsteps, and massive skylights above that could retract in sections. In the far end of the room, just as you said, was a garage-style rolling gate. Its towering height, nearly 60 feet tall, would reinforce hinges to let even the largest of beasts out in the secured wilderness beyond the facility. Chomper stepped just beside you, or just behind you, mouth slightly agape at the sheer size of the space.
Whoa! Twinton, this is amazing!
He said, his voice echoing off the walls as he stepped inside, cautiously, claws clicking softly on the pad's surface.
This place could fit 10 of me. Well, at least for now.
He paused, looking back at you, a puzzle glint in his eyes.
So, does this mean I can finish that steak dinner now?
His tail gave a hopeful little swish.
I'm still hungry, and I'm really curious to see how big I get in here while there's room to stretch.
You want to give Chomper the rest of the steak? Now we'll talk to him a little more first. Sure. Here you go. The rest of it's yours. He's so cute. Chomper's eyes light up like you just handed him the key to paradise.
Yes! You are officially my favorite human twin. Not that there was ever a kind of contest, but still.
He eagerly, but gently settled down to the pad floor, lowering his body to make sure he didn't knock anything over as you handed him the plates. His claws, surprisingly nimble for a creature of his size, carefully grabbed one steak at a time. As he devoured each juicy cut of meat, you could hear it, a low hum, almost like energy pulsing through his body. And then you saw it. His form began to subtly stretch and shift with each bite. His legs thickened slightly first. Then his torso extended, spine groaning quietly as vertebrae adjusted. His tail swished as it lengthened, and his shoulders rose higher with every chew. He paused between steaks, a look of awe on his face as he flexed one arm and marveled at the visible growth.
Okay. Wow. This is more than before,
he said, standing slowly.
The floor let out a soft creak beneath him, but held firm. Sweden, I think I just jumped from like, what, 6 feet? 7? To at least 15. Maybe more. This room's big, but I feel like I might need an even bigger bed soon. He turned and looked at his reflection in a mirrored wall panel. Still got the cute smile, though. Yeah, with a grin before gently turning back to you. So, now I'm way taller than you and nearly reaching that high lit up panel there. But it looks scary, but still adorable. He tilts his head as tearfully again as he waited for your answer. No, you're still adorable. And being just as friendly as you were a while ago. That smile you have is adorable, even at this size. He's so cute, even though he's so big now. Sorry, I'm trying to scoot this chair a little bit so I get more comfortable. Chopper's huge tail gave it a side thump against the padded floor, sending a soft warmth through the room. Ah, really? You mean it? He said with his voice still filled with that same playful tone, though echoed now with more power behind it. He took a careful step closer, crouching slightly to be more ear level, even though his head still towered far above you now. You're the best, Quentin. I don't care how big I get. I'm never gonna forget how kind you've been to me. He gently leaned his massive snout against your chest, nuzzling you with surprising care for a creature whose jaws could literally tear through steel. Then, after a moment of affection, he smirked a little. So, what do you think? Should I try eating even more next time? Maybe enough to outgo even this womb? Or should we take it slow so I don't accidentally crush your car or, the house? He chuckled, then added in a quieter, more thoughtful voice. Either way, I only grow more if you say it's okay. You're my parent now, after all. It's okay if you continue to eat and grow. If you want to go see my house in a few minutes, we can. And maybe I can even build you a massive house that you can sleep in. Because I know at this size you wouldn't be able to fit in mine. Chomper's eyes widened with pure joy, and he let out a soft, excited growl that almost sounded like a happy purr from a giant cat. You'd really do that for me? He said, tail wagging so hard it sent a gush of air through the room. A big house just for me? That's like a dream come true. I wouldn't even care if it was made of cardboard. Just knowing it's from you makes it awesome. He leaned his massive head closer, carefully rubbing the side of his face against you in a gentle nuzzle, then sat back with a proud, upright posture. Okay, one more steak, just to get a little bigger for the walk. Then we can check out your place and start planning quesadilla chomper, yeah? He said with a cheeky grin. As he took another juicy steak from the tray, he watched once again as his body stretched with that same soft pulse of energy. His spine stand upward, his chest widened, and his legs gotten even more,
In seconds, he'd gone from about 15 feet to nearly 20 feet tall, his head now brushing close to the ceiling supports. But he still looked at you with the same loving, playful expression he had as a hatchling.
Okay, I think I might need to duck through the garage door now, he said, chuckling. Way to show me your place?
Yes. Let's go. Period. Maybe I'll do Retsy's story a little bit differently on this one. Maybe instead of Retsy being just flat out gone, maybe he's still around, but he decided after the incident to just leave. Not because he hated me or anything, because he felt guilty about what happened. I used to have another dinosaur that was a talking Tyrannosaurus Rex. However, he couldn't eat and grow like you could. And we had a little incident. Summer tilted his massive head, his eyes wide with curiosity as he carefully ducked through the reinforced garage doors, each heavy pound groaning slightly as they slid open to reveal the soft glow of afternoon light outside. He paused just outside the facility, turning his huge body slightly so he could face you while making sure not to knock over any nearby trees or lampposts.
Whoa, you had a T-Rex that could talk too?
He asked, blinking in surprise.
That's kind of awesome, but you said there was an incident.
His voice soft and concern creeping into his tone as he lowered his massive body so that his snout was just a few feet away from you, like a giant friend crouching down to check on someone they care about.
Did he turn against you?
Yes, Jimmy.
That why you're worried about me getting too big?
He looked guilty for a second, his claws fidgeting nervously.
I swear, Twitten, I'd never do what he did. He means too much to me. And besides, you're the reason I even have this wife. I want to grow stronger, yeah, but only so I can stay close to you and protect you. I'm not like him.
He gave a soft huff and smiled again.
Now come on, show me your place. I want to see where the best human in the world lives.
Come on, follow me. I'll talk about Rexy more while we're heading there. Chomper grinned and gently swung his tail behind him, keeping it carefully elevated so it wouldn't smash into the trees or power poles that lined the road. His footsteps were heavy but controlled, and he stayed close behind you, Glassbone casting a long shadow across the ground as the two of you walked side by side. Well, as close to side by side as someone 5 times your size could get.
I'm listening, Twin,
he said with a respectful calm in his voice.
What happened with Rexy? Was he born in the lab too? Did you raise him the same way you're raising me?
He leaned in slightly as he walked, his enormous head tilting with genuine curiosity and a little hint of worry, like he was bracing for something sad. The wind stirred gently, rustling the trees nearby as you made your way along a quiet path leading towards your home in the distance, still a safe distance away, but visibly on the horizon. Chomper adds safely, I want to understand what went wrong, so I can make sure it never happens between us. See, was not born in this lab. I found his egg just lying around. And I decided to go ahead and raise it. Once he hatched, he was very friendly and could speak nearly perfect English. Thomas' eyes lit up with a mix of excitement and empathy as he listened closely. Sounds a lot like me, he said with a soft chuckle. Hatched from an egg you found and could talk right away. That's pretty wild. Must be one amazing dinosaur parent twin. He glanced down at you with that warm, trusting smile of his massive snout. Then his expression softened, his tone turning more thoughtful. So, what happened to that? Did you have to stay friendly, or did things start to change? Everything went fine for a few years. Me and him were happy, and we cared about each other just like you do me now. However, something happened with a Pokemon that had a grudge against me. He kept trying to turn my dinosaur against me, turning him into different things, like a zombie, a robot, and even a stone statue, trying to get rid of him and our connection. And we're happy and care about each other just like you do me now. Something happened with a Pokemon that had a grudge. Kept trying to turn my dinosaur against me, turning him into different things like a zombie, a robot, and even a stone statue. And her family and our connection. Chomper's massive brows furrowed deeply as he took in your story, his eyes narrowing with concern and a fierce protective spark. That sounds horrible, twin. I can't imagine how painful that must have been for both of you. He shifted his weight, tail gently sweeping the ground in agitation. A Pokemon trying to mess with your bond like that? Trying to change Reggie into a zombie, a robot, and a statue? That's just cruel. He gave a low rumbling growl, not threatening but full determination. But you know what? I'm not gonna let anything like that happen to us. I'm gonna stay strong for you. And if anyone ever tries to come between us, they'll have to get through me first. As I go in with Lord as he looked up at you, his voice gentle but unwavering. You don't have to worry about me turning against you. I'm here to protect you and be your friend. Always. Thank you. Dude, here's the incident that separated us. One day, that same Pokemon came in and put a curse on us, turning me into a tiny velociraptor and making Rexy. Basically keep switching from being very nice and friendly to being very mean and aggressive, even to the point where he was about to eat me, seeing me as a threat. Okay, man, fuckers on turning me into a thing. My Reggie basically keeps switching from nice and friendly to being very mean and aggressive, even to the point where he was about to eat me some threat. Chomper stopped in his tracks. His eyes widened, and for a long moment he was completely silent. The idea of you, the person who'd raised him with so much care, being cursed into a tiny velociraptor and nearly eaten by your own dinosaur, it shook him.
He tried to eat you?
Chomper whispered, his voice cracking with a mixture of disbelief and anger. His large claws clenched softly at his sides, his tail stiffened.
That Pokemon didn't just mess with your bond, he destroyed it. On purpose.
He growled lowly, not at you, but at the memory of what had been done.
That's not fair, Quentin. That's not fair at all. You didn't deserve that.
Then his gaze slowly lowered back to you, gentle again and protective.
I want you to know something. Even if someone ever tried to curse me, tried to mess with my head, my heart knows who you are. You're the one who hatched me, who fed me, protected me, sat by me while I slept. I don't care what magic they use, I'm your Chomper. Always.
He leaned down until his massive snout was level with your chest, gently bumping against you with the softest nudge of affection.
And if anyone ever tries to try something like that again, then run real quick while you don't mess with someone I care about.
I gently pet Chomper on the snout. I don't know who the frick that is. Chomper on the snout. Here's the thing. I kept talking to telling him that it was me. And eventually, he would snap out of it and start loving on me again. However, along with the aggression came another part of the curse, the transformations. Stop! 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 You read! Don't. Come on, get off of there. Ain't what I want to do. He would transform into completely different creatures. Like a massive dragon. Or a legendary Pokemon like Lugia, and you didn't always know whether he was going to be nice or want to eat you and see you as a threat. Alright, guys, I'll be back.